Hello, this is a review of the Logitech Harmony Touch Universal Remote Control. Now basically, it comes in a box that you see pictured here. Out comes the parts. Of course, you have the remote control itself that we see here. You get a charging station, a charging cable, and some manuals. Now the remote is fairly light. It's fairly thin towards the top, but it has a contour design so it naturally fits where your thumb is going to flip across the screen. The screen turns off pretty quickly. The screen's a little bit sensitive, so if you don't do a proper sliding motion, you'll find that you'll have started an activity. All the buttons have a contextual feel except these two soft buttons up here, which goes back to the home screen or brings up your favorite list of channels. But these all have contextual feel. They have so at least there's a little context to feeling of them. Here's your off button that you'll use to turn off everything when you're all done. And then so if I just started watching something, I'll go ahead and hit off. And then you have other buttons here. Now remember, all of these buttons are programmatically configurable. So you can go into the software and program any one of these. Now you have a much more limited options to program these than, of course, all of the buttons on the Harmony 1 and Harmony 900. We'll get to that shortly. But this is the basic remote you got here. Then, of course, you get the charging cradle. So what do? You put the remote in there when you want to charge it. You have the charging cable here, which is just a mini USB cable here. So the mini USB cable either plugs into the back of the charging charger or into the bottom of the remote. That's notably different again compared to what was going on with the other ones. Also notice that there is a sealed battery compartment. And it comes with a USB cable, which of course you need to be able to sync with your computer. So here's the USB 2.0 cable you can plug into the end of your computer, and here's the mini USB connector that you're going to plug into the back side of the remote. Pull this little piece back and there's your port. So here's the deal. You're either going to love this remote because you like touch screens and you would prefer to use that as the prominent feature, and you don't sit around with using the physical buttons as a context sensitive. So if you're the kind of person that's just going to start the activity, just want to say, I want to watch TV, and need to then look down to say, well, I want to go do something else, or I need to do something, and have all of the buttons on one remote. If you're going to fumble anyways amongst the 5 other different remotes, then I think this is a great remote and you would call it 5-star. Now, if you're the kind of person who always leaves the remote in your hand and just feels around and has memorized where all of the buttons are, I'd call you a power user who just likes the context sensitive of the buttons, then you're going to probably say this is a 3-star remote. Because the buttons and the locations, like especially the play button and pause, which is what I use almost all of the time, it doesn't quite drop down in your hand into the right location. It's weighted really heavy on the bottom. So yes, you can look down and easily press the different buttons, but it's really all about this location being accessible to your hand and the touch screen. If you really love the fact to have buttons and a whole lot of buttons that can be programmable, then of course the Harmony 1 or the Harmony 900 is an absolutely excellent remote, and is what Harmony offers for that. So why would you want a Harmony Universal Remote? It's to get rid of the clutter. So if you have a pile of remotes, now you just really have one remote, and I've loved the Logitech remotes for this, right, is they really do a good job. So I have a DVD player receiver that goes with my speakers around here. I have a Wii down there, I have an Xbox, I have a DVR that's a TiVo, and my TV up here, and you're going to have an array of remotes for all of these, and figuring out which activity gets them all together. You go and switch the receiver to a certain audio mode. You're going to set the DVD player, you get that started, you're going to turn on the TV, you got to set the video input on the TV to connect to the DVD player, set to the HDMI or component in, depending what you have. The Xbox can do a different one, the Xbox has a different audio cable going over there. You have all this complexity when the software on this remote is just going to walk you through the questions, says, look, write down which each of them are connected to, tell the software which it is, and then all you say is, watch Xbox, watch TV, which is pairing the DVR with it, or watch a DVD, which knows to turn on that, and turn off that, and so on. And now I can get rid of all of the clutter. I used to have 4 remotes sitting out here, or 5 of them, and it's just way too many. It's got a pretty wide, powerful blaster, so it's going to see most of your devices as long as they're in the general vicinity that you're pointing at. So as an iRemote, you still have to point it at it, but it tends to catch things. So let's say, for example, let's go scroll around and say, oh, let's watch DVD. Now, remember what it's going to do is it's going to turn all of the devices on. So it's going to be turning on my receiver down here, my DVD player here, and my TV up here. And it's going to set everything to the correct input. So it set my DVD audio channel to my receiver audio channel to DVD. It's going to turn the TV on, and it's going to set the TV input to DVD. And then to play, I can either just press the play button up here or go to gestures and then tap the center of the screen. And then to turn off, I go up here and press the off button, and it sends the power off signal to all of the things that it just had on. Now here's the new software. You can manage all of your remotes under one account here. And unlike the other software, this software insists that you connect your remote in order to continue using it. I believe it wants to sync and learn about customizations you made on the remote away from the software, whereas the other one, the only customizations you ever did were on the software. Okay, and now I'm connected to the bottom of the remote. It's currently syncing, and it confirms right here that it is saving my changes back to my Harmony. And it's got a nice home page. So we start out, your devices. I have 6 devices. I can have even 9 more to make 15. I have activities. I have 7. I can add more, and different things here. And it's really easy to navigate around. It's a pretty easy to use menu system. So the first thing you do is add devices. So you come over here and you can select between existing devices or add more. And so here I have my sound system, there's my Nintendo Wii, my DVR, that's my TiVo, and my DVD player, and the list goes on. And you can tune settings, like if the buttons aren't responding fast enough, you can change the time delays and fix different commands. But you also then have activities, so I can click activities, and this is where you put all of your things like watch TV, watch DVD. Now I dropped the verb on mine. I don't say watch, I just say TV on mine. But this is where you can configure the pairings of all the different devices that make up the activities. And then for me, most importantly, once you get the basics down, is buttons. So this is where you get to fine-tune buttons, and this is significantly easier to do than the other software. So here you pick between the soft buttons here, change with the screen options on the touch screen, and change what physical buttons do. So you just pick from the drop down, and here you have all of your activities, like my watch TV, watch DVD, as well as devices, and I can scroll down further because remember, you can pull up specific devices. But here I'll say I want to go to the TV soft buttons, click go, and here's all my soft buttons. Here I can add and delete. I can delete them right here if I don't want to see certain ones anymore. On the right side here, you have a drop-down list that I can pick, and watch TV only has my DVR and my TV on it. So I want to go to my DVR and add a soft button. Say, well, I wish I had an exit command. So I go ahead and click exit, and you can drop it on over. So you notice you drag drop from the right to the left, and the ones that are grayed out are ones that I've already added. And it does support sequences. So over here, sequences are basically lists of commands. You can say, I know what I want to do. I want to have it to say up, down, left, right. You could actually program sequences to do that. And you can change the text of what any of these soft buttons do. So on the right-hand side, it'll actually show up with an actual icon if there is one. So on mine, I actually do have a thumbs up icon later that we would see. But you can type in different text if you like. And to customize physical buttons, I'm going to pick the physical button list. I'm going to pick Watch TV and click Go. And up comes all my physical buttons. Now this I really liked, especially compared to the other remote. From the Harmony 1 and the Harmony 900 with the old software. So with this here, I can hover over all of them and see what any of them are currently mapped to. And it's the same thing here on the right hand side, and the biggest thing is drag drop. So here we go. I'm listing on the right ones, and for whatever reason, let's say I want to decide advance is going to be stop. So drop. You just drag drop. So I really liked the visual layout of all the buttons here instead of the pictorial pictures. And it comes with instructions. So on the left side, it tells you what to do. So you can just follow what's on the screen. And remember, if you don't see a button on the list or it's not behaving as it's supposed to, you can click add or fix a button. Up comes another screen. And basically, all the way down here, you can add a completely missing command, and it's going to have it go learn from the other remote. And of course, you can program in it your favorite channels if you like, which is what maps to the star button on the remote later. So I'm going to go ahead and click edit my favorite channels. Up comes the list, and it's going to ask for my provider, and it's going to say, you know, I'll say I'm using DirecTV or something like that. And you can go down the list and put a star in any one that you want to become your favorite, and these are the pictures that end up working with them. And when you're all done, you're going to have to sync the remote. So you click the sync button and say sync now. Now syncing runs a little bit longer in the very first time you run it, so it's going to run through several steps, and it says it may take 3 to 5 minutes. And I think it takes longer whenever it decides to update firmware. Thanks for watching the review, and see my other video reviews for the Harmony 1 and the Harmony 900.